The Bazaar is pushing the boundaries of game design, innovating on everything from its matchmaking to its economy models. But what about the cards themselves? Let's take a look at Vanessa's top 5 craziest card designs so far. We have seen 85 Vanessa cards to date, which has to be close to the full set now, so we are pretty confident these will be some of the weirdest cards when the game releases. That being said, anything can change, so bear that in mind for pretty much all Bazaar content, and at least until the beta goes live. Also, if you want to see the full list of revealed items for yourself, a team of incredible folks from our Discord server, find links for that below, have created a database of them for you, so go check it out. I'll leave a pinned comment with a link to it. Okay, with all of that sorted out, let's jump into my number 5 pick, the Sniper Rifle. This is one of the first items we saw the design for, at least in its current state, way back in March. The Sniper Rifle is a medium weapon that every 5 seconds deals 10 damage. Pretty regular so far, but its passive is something that we see in a couple of places within Vanessa's set, but in this case, set to an extreme level. The Sniper Rifle deals 5 times its total damage if it is your only weapon. 5 times. So at base that is now 50 damage, which is crazy in and of itself. For reference, the Ballista deals the same amount of damage over a 10-second period, but only has 1 ammo. The Sniper Rifle at base can fire as much as it likes, and you'll be looking to avoid other weapons to keep the passive up, so you will undoubtedly pick up a few buffing items instead, making it more and more likely that the Sniper Rifle can one-shot your opponent after those 5 seconds of combat, or at least do a hefty chunk of damage, and then again 5 seconds later. This item is going to do some crazy stuff, I can't wait to see it in game. Up next at number 4 we have an item that was showcased to us recently, and is featured prominently in the background here, and that is the fishing net. Part of a collection of items that generate tokens, the fishing net has the greatest potential of them to single-handedly become your win condition, or at least to look utterly ridiculous, so it takes the 4th slot on this list. The fishing net is a medium weapon, which every 10 seconds will spawn a piranha token. As a passive effect, it would also give you 1 strength for each aquatic item you own, and yes, you guessed it, piranhas are aquatic. After just a couple of fights against NPC opponents, if you have sold the rest of your items, freeing up your board, you will have an army of piranhas, and a bucket load of strength to buff them with. From there on, you can focus on making your combo more powerful by investing in ways to make more gold, to buy more stats, or potentially save up and pivot into a powerful late game combo should you see it. Either way, fishing net looks like a very weird and wonderful item. Narrowly beating out the fishing net to number 3 is an item that isn't just a win condition for Vanessa, but is one that completely unlocks a different style of playing, the Tropical Island. With no active ability, the large item, Tropical Island, grants the user 10 maximum health for each non-weapon item you own at the start of the fight. Now, Tropical Island is a non-weapon itself, and that will leave you with 7 slots. Should you fill those slots with more non-weapon small items, you can get a maximum of 80 health per fight you start. In the current build, we saw that going to NPC fights regularly was the correct call, often 2 or 3 per day at least, which is a solid few hundred health every day just from this one item, let alone what 7 small items that you have are doing in the background. This item not only has the potential to be useful, but why it is so far up this list is simple. Vanessa's playstyle is aggressive. She has so many weapons and attachments that help her deal damage and kill the enemy faster. But here we have one single item that unlocks the entire stall tactic of the game for an otherwise quick and aggressive class. We're on to the top 2, and this one was my original top pick before I remembered the final number 1 existed. At number 2, we have an item that even the designers themselves say is one of their favourites. The octopus. This should be no surprise to anyone following the development of the game. You may have seen in games before the idea of casting an ability multiple times, usually done just once with an item repeating. Well, the Bazaar brings us the Octocast, the ability to use an effect 8 times. 8 times. The octopus is a medium aquatic weapon that every 20 seconds deals 1 damage, but its passive ability is the aforementioned Octocast. When you use this item, it triggers 8 times. This has so many uses alongside just being awesome. We're still waiting for a lot of the visual effects, but I really hope that if you augment this with something, or even just the base octopus, has a really awesome effect because you get to see it fire 8 times in quick succession. If you buff it, you are effectively gaining 8 times the buff you applied. If you increase its damage by 1, for example, it hits 8 times. So that +1 buff is actually more like a +8 buff. If you have items that do something on a weapon's trigger, they will happen 8 times. Or if you have items that just do something on an aquatic trigger, which is quite common within the aquatic archetype, then again, 8 times. It's just so unique and I love it. I love the extreme level that the team are willing to push this game because they can, because it is designed for digital. Before we jump into the number 1 pick, I have to give just a couple of honourable mentions. Dam is a really interesting weapon that gains 35 damage for each aquatic item you own at the start of a fight, with the potential to get really crazy, especially with the number of fights that we're starting at the moment, and with the prevalence of things like fishing net and piranhas, which give you plenty of aquatic items. A dam can really get close to one-shotting, if not easily able to one-shot some of the squishier classes. At the other end of the spectrum, we have the trebuchet. I wanted to put one of these in here, but Vanessa has a lot of damaging items, and the trebuchet, and we mentioned before the ballista, these have very, very high numbers attached to them. The trebuchet hitting for a ridiculous amount of damage and burning the enemy, so that's why I put it in here instead of the ballista. And my final honourable mention goes to the electric eels. Another favourite of the designers that really punishes enemy players who are going to hit you regularly by inflicting daze every time you get attacked by an item. Each of these are maybe less unique than the ones that made the list, but they still show signs of really intriguing design, and that's why I wanted to list them here, just to show you what sort of the baseline almost is and how incredible these few items are. Alright, finally, time for my first place item. This narrowly beat out even Octocast, just because of its impact. The sheer force of it almost bullied all of the other items out of its way, and I'm of course talking about the boulder.
The boulder's over his conflicted feelings, and now he's ready to bury you in a rock-a-lanche.
The boulder is a large weapon which has 1 ammo, and after 30 seconds will deal damage equal to your opponent's maximum health. Yes, you heard me right. This thing destroys your opponent. That's it. If the opponent has no shielding, this item will one-shot them regardless of what else is happening. It is exceptionally brave to put in an item with such finality into your game, and as such I can't think of much outside of the likes of like Exodia from Yu-Gi-Oh! That compares to the boulder. It is a ticking time bomb in every game, and if you aren't able to finish off your opponent in time, or shield yourself, or have an immunity frame or something, you are absolutely done for. This thing will destroy you, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Again, when visual effects come in, I can't wait to see what this looks like. I want to play with the boulder just for the memes, you know? It's going to be a lot of fun to watch someone nervously try and blink away at your health, knowing full well that in a few more seconds, they are done. Anyway, what did you think of our list? Are there items you've seen on the Bazaar item library, linked below remember, that you would rate weirder or crazier than some of these? Let me know in the comments below. Please do like and subscribe. I really want to get a gauge for how much you guys are enjoying this sort of content. While we have sort of little downbeats of news here and there, or even as the Bazaar ramps up, and I start finding time to cover both news and other things, is this the sort of content you would like to see? Let me know by, liking the video. It's a really good metric for letting me know that you're enjoying this type of content. Anyway, I have been Gamesplay Greg, and I will catch you in the next video.